Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of I'm Reviewing Here, a podcast where I, Matthew Bussey, watch and review Sight and Sound's top greatest movies of all time. Oh, wow. I am listless right now. Listless is the funnest word to say. Yes, there's no such name. Wow, I'm screwing this up already. There's no such thing as funnest. I get that. I just like to say it because it's fun to say funnest, okay? So sue me. Sue me. I'm very loopy and goopy and weird today. I can't even speak English, so this may be an interesting episode. I mean, I always talk like this, but yeah, it is. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. It is a very long Tuesday. Anyway, I got no other updates. I don't know what else to say. You know, it's kind of like when you start talking to someone on a date, like on a dating app in particular, and the first thing you can think of to say is how the weather has been good or really bad, and then you just don't really know what else to say after that. Yeah, that's like story of my life. I'm getting better at it, not beginning the conversation with, it was nice today, huh? Or, oh, this heat is hot. Or, oh, this cold is cold. I'm getting a lot better at that, but there are times where when they don't have anything good to say in their profile, I don't know how to start a conversation. I just don't know what to do, okay? Just cut me some slack. Ugh, the rules of dating in this world, on this planet. God damn it. All right, well, I guess it kind of relates to what I'm going to talk about today, because what I'm going to talk about today is a love story. It's a French love story, French-Japanese love story. Une histoire d'amour français et japonais. Sorry, I thought amour was feminine or masculine? Why am I having a brain fart right now? Masculine? Oh, okay. No, that doesn't count. It is masculine. Sorry. Okay. Today's movie is obviously very famous because it's on Sight and Sound's top greatest movies of all time list, and I have some things to say about it. I do. This is now the second time I've watched it all the way through. All the way through. I really remember the opening sequence of this very well, and I did not really remember the rest of it. The first time I had seen this was college, I think. Maybe even after college. I actually don't remember. But yeah, it's artistic. Right off the bat, you may be like, that's not for me. I get that if it's not for you. The movie is called Hiroshima, Mon Amour.
Hiroshima.
Toi?
Moi? Oui? Tu m'auras vu?
La nuit, ça ne s'arrête jamais à Hiroshima.
Jamais ça ne s'arrête à Hiroshima.
Je t'oublie déjà, regarde comme je t'oublie, regarde-moi!
Dun, dun, dun! Yeah, the music is really good in this. The music was by two people, Georges Delerue and Giovanni Fusco. Fusco, I like that name. I also love the name of this movie, Hiroshima, Mon Amour. It is so good. Or in Japanese, I'm not going to say that because you know what I mean. why would I say that? Okay. Hiroshima, Mon Amour. This came out in 1959. It was written by Marguerite Duras, who was also a popular filmmaker and a screenwriter. This movie actually earned her an Oscar nomination for Best Original Screenplay. It was directed by a man named Alain Resnais. Alain Resnais. It's not Alan, it's Alain. Okay? Say it like that. Do not say Alan. It drives me crazy. You know what also drives me crazy? Whenever people pronounce coupons as coupons. It's not coupons. It's not spelled C-U-P-O-N-S. It is coupons. O-U is cou. C-U is Q. Learn that, okay? Alain Resnais, so he was a French director. He was a French New Wave director. He directed what is quite possibly the best Holocaust movie of all time. It was called Night and Fog. It came out in 1955, I think? 1956? I have to double check. It's a short movie. It's like a half hour long. It's a documentary, essentially, but it's an artsy documentary. And it was pretty much like the first movie to come out after the Holocaust to be about the Holocaust, you know, and it is, be warned, it's obviously very hard to watch. I think it's on YouTube, actually. You may be able to find the full video on YouTube, which I don't like, but, you know, it's a short movie, so it gets leaked online, you know, a lot, but it is one of the most powerful, moving, heartbreaking Holocaust films I've ever seen. And what makes it work so well is how it's not a standard, well, here's what happened during those awful years. Here's the play-by-play history of what happened. It's not like that. The whole movie is one narrator talking essentially about what happened, but, you know, he says it in very poetic ways, you know? Like, he doesn't say the Nazis came into power. He says, you know, a group of men come into, you know, an establishment. Oh God, why am I messing this up? I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah, do you know what I mean? They don't really say, the narrator doesn't say what is exactly happening. And when he does talk, it's very poetic. I don't know how else to say it. He's a hard director to kind of explain, Alain Resnais. Now, I love that movie. That is one of my favorite movies, but it's a short movie. Hiroshima, Mon Amour is obviously a feature film. And Resnais did another film called last year at Mariamba. Mariamba, that's how you're supposed to say it. Also a feature film. And, okay, I have some issues with both of these films. The latter movie you'll hear in a few episodes from now, but Hiroshima, Mon Amour, I think I would have liked it more if it was a short film, if it was a long short film, if it was a 30-minute to a 40-minute short film. The movie is only an hour and a half. It just drags so much. Now, I love the beginning of this movie. I love the first, like, half hour. And then it just goes on and on and on. And I eventually stop caring about these two people. I love how beautifully filmed this movie is. You know, kudos to the cinematographers Sasha Vierny and Michio Takahashi. Oh my God, Takahashi, I love that name, surname. But yeah, you know, critics love this. It was nominated for an Oscar. It's a very popular film of the French New Wave, but not really for me. And that's shocking because, again, I love French movies. I love stories. And I love French New Wave movies too. I really, really do. You see, French New Wave, you have to remember, there's not always a full, concise plot in pretty much all the film the French New Wave films. Sorry, I'm laughing because I almost said Film Freeway. Film Freeway is a website to submit your films for film festivals. Sorry, my job is getting in my head right now. Been a long day at work. What am I trying to say? I love French New Wave movies. They don't really have full plots, which I'm okay with. But the difference is that in a lot of other French New Wave movies, I connect more with what is going on. Even though in French New Wave movies, the director just basically captures a random slice of everyday life among characters in France, you know, because they're mostly always set in France. In Hiroshima, Mon Amour, it's very different. It's much more artistic, and it's only an hour and a half. It feels like 2 hours. And by 45 minutes in, you know, this is the second time I've watched the movie, I start to lose track. I hate saying that because there is so much ingenuity in this film, just from a visual perspective, you know, but I don't know. I don't know. Well, first of all, what's it about?
Plot synopsis.
So yeah, like I said, this might come off as like a beginning, middle, and end love story. It's not really that. So the movie kicks off. We see a series of close-ups of the backs and arms of a man and woman embracing sexually amidst falling ash and then covered in sweat. This is one of the coolest images I've ever seen on film. So, you see this man's bare back and you see this woman like hugging his back, and it's obviously that they're doing it, but there's like ash falling on them. And then suddenly it just slowly transitions into sweats. Now, what is the ashes? Well, here it's called Hiroshima. So yeah, here we go. In voiceover, the woman recounts the aftermath of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima that she has seen on her trip to the city, while newsreel and fictional footage of victims, protests, war memorials, and the streets and buildings of modern Hiroshima are shown. So yeah, it is a lot of it is real footage, and the woman is played by actress Emmanuelle Riva. She was mostly known. I mean, she's been acting forever. This was her first film, and she's mostly known in like the 2010s. If you remember the 2012 Oscars, there was all this news about the oldest Best Actress winner, or Best Actress nominee, excuse me. It was her. Emmanuelle Riva was the oldest, to this day, the oldest Best Actress nominee. She was nominated for AMOUR. Did not win. Jennifer Lawrence won for Silver Linings Playbook, but great performance, great actress in this. But yeah, the beginning of this movie, though, it's very difficult to watch, but you have to remember that it is important what you're seeing. You're seeing really disturbing post-Hiroshima images of victims burned and like losing body, with body parts missing. And there's a scene involving an eyeball that I'm not even going to explain what happens because it's gross, but Resnais shows this footage and he intercuts it with the man and this woman just caressing, each other. And it's a very sexy moment. It is a very sexy moment, but it's cross-cut with these horribly horrific images. This already, you're supposed to get a feel for, this relationship and what it's built on. It's really kind of built on tragedy, so keep that in mind. The man calmly says the woman has not seen anything, nor does she know what it is to forget. He is from Hiroshima and his family died in the bombing while he was off fighting in the war. The woman is a French actress who was in the city to make an anti-war film. The man, again, they don't have names. He is played by this actor, what is going on with me? He's played by this actor named Eiji Okada, I think is how you say his name. And I'll get to him later. His story with his background is pretty interesting. So, in the morning, the woman watches the man sleep. His twitching hand reminds her of her first love, a soldier whose hand moves similarly as he lay dying. The Japanese man awakes, and it becomes clear he and the woman met the previous night at a cafe. One night stand. She learns he is an architect who was involved in politics. They discuss the bombing and the end of the war, and he's enchanted by the word Nevers, her hometown, which is in France, of course, to which she never wants to return. The man says he would like to see the woman again, but she says she is flying back to Paris the next day. Neither this nor the revelation that she has children change how he feels, but she, though torn, repeatedly declines to arrange another meeting. The man visits the woman at the filming location, and she's happy to see him. He takes her back to his house. She asks if he lives alone, and he replies that his wife is out of town for a few days. They both say they are happy in their marriages, though they have had casual affairs before and make love again. After deciding to spend the woman's remaining time in Hiroshima together, they go to a tea room where the man asks the woman to tell him more about Nevers and her life there. Intercut with flashbacks, she tells how she and an occupying German soldier I lost track. Fell in love and planned to elope to Bavaria before he was shot while waiting for her on the day Nevers was liberated. How she stayed with him while he died over the next 2 days. How the villagers shaved her head when they found out about the relationship, and how her parents locked her alternately in her room and the cellar while her hair grew out, and she came out of her madness and then sent her away to Paris just before Hiroshima was bombed. Okay, that's a lot. Basically, all you have to know. In her hometown, she had an affair with a Nazi. The Nazi died. Everybody hated her when they found out she was having this, infatuation with this Nazi, of course. She was really, really depressed. She's a mess. That's all you have to know. She tries to convey the pain she feels about forgetting the German and their love, and indicates she has been trying to keep her distance from the Japanese man because she does not want any more such heartbreak. The man is elated when he learns the woman never told her husband about the German, but when they leave the tea room, she tells him to go away and that they will probably never see each other again. There's also a really weird moment where she's speaking about her life, with this German, and she's getting so upset and is like in a trance, and then the Japanese man just slaps her across the face twice. Ridiculous. I didn't mean to laugh, but it's so ridiculous because it's meant to be serious. Because I get it. He's trying to, snap out of it, snap her out of it, like what Cher does to Nicolas Cage. He's trying to do that, but it's silly. So she's like, we're never going to see each other again. In her hotel room, she feels guilty about telling the man about the German, but decides to stay in Hiroshima. She goes back to the now closed tea room, and the man finds her and asks her to stay. She weakly says she will, but then tells him again to go away. They walk around the city, together and separately, images of Hiroshima alternating with images of Nevers. The woman goes to a train station where she lets go of some of her issues surrounding her first love and decides she might like to visit Nevers. She takes a cab to a nightclub, the man following. The place is nearly empty and they sit apart. As the sun rises, a Japanese man sits by the woman and hits on her in English. Back in the woman's hotel room, the architect knocks at the door. Remember, the architect, because nobody has names. The architect is the Japanese man she's, sleeping with. He knocks at her door. She lets him in and yells that she is already starting to forget him, but abruptly calms and says his name is Hiroshima. He responds, that is, and her name is Nevers. So it ends with her saying, I know you, you're Hiroshima, and then he responds with, I know, and you're Nevers. The end.
Pourquoi parler de lui plutôt que d'autres?
Pourquoi pas?
Non, pourquoi?
À cause de Nevers. Je peux seulement commencer à te connaître. Et entre les milliers et les milliers de choses de ta vie, je choisis Nevers.
Comme autre chose?
Oui.
Non, ce n'est pas par hasard. C'est toi qui dois me dire pourquoi.
C'est là. Il me semble avoir compris que tu es si jeune, que tu n'es encore à personne précisément. Cela me plaît.
Non, ce n'est pas ça.
C'est là. Il me semble avoir compris que j'ai failli te perdre et que j'ai risqué de ne jamais te connaître. C'est là, il me semble avoir compris que tu as dû commencer à être comme aujourd'hui tu es encore.
Okay, so it's a work of art. I have nothing against that. It's a very poetic work of art. What the hell does that ending mean? Why don't we ever find their names? Well, it's poetry. Well, but why don't we know their names? Well, I don't know. I didn't write this thing. A man did. A man who loves visual poetry and using film as, in artistic ways. So, I don't know about this one. I cannot totally interpret it. I like how it's not, a very traditional love story. I like how it's gorgeously filmed from beginning to end. I loved how sexy it was. I love the leads in it. Riva and Okada are phenomenal in this film. I don't know how else to repeat that. I think Hiroshima Mon Amour is more clever than it is less clever than it thinks it is. I know that might sound like a slap in the face, but because there is a lot of artistic craft that went into this movie, but I'm just missing it. I'm missing something here. I'm missing what the real poetry of it all is. I don't get why things just seem to go on and on and on, and things repeat over and over and over again in this film. There's nothing I hate more in a movie, and a movie that's trying to be poetic, when a character does the same thing again and again and again. And in this film, it just feels after like 30 minutes, it is just this woman going, I don't want to see you again. 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 I don't want to see... Like, oh my God, I get it. We get it, We get it. And I don't get how that's poetry. I don't. What is poetry too? What makes something poetic? I'm going to look up the definition of poetry right now while we're on this topic. Poetic synonym, poetic synonym. What am I trying to? Sorry, I write a lot at work, so I have to. I don't want to use the same words. Poetry definition. Literary work, well, it doesn't need to be literary, in which special intensity is given to the expression of feelings and ideas by the use of distinctive style and rhythm. Okay, so yes, there's a lot of style in this film. There's rhythm in the style. Meaning, though? Meaning. Moral of this film. Love is pain. Meaning of this film. Love hurts. I don't know. And maybe the message is right in front of me and I'm pathetic and I can't see it because I've never, been in love. Like, at least this kind of love that obviously has a lot of baggage. I don't know. I don't know about this movie, and I don't like not liking it as much as I should because I love French. I love French New Wave. I love romance. I love the premise of this movie. I just wish it was shorter. Again, I think like the reason Night and Fog, the short film I was telling you about, works so well too is because it never drags. It's 30 minutes. Boom. It's perfect. It is perfect. The beginning of this movie, Hiroshima, Mon Amour, is perfect. And then I just feel like it comes apart a little bit. Sorry. BTS Secrets and Scandals! So, yes, not really a lot of facts, really. I mean, I guess the big thing is, Okada, the actor who played the man in it, the woman she's having an affair with, he did not know any French and was coached in pronouncing each syllable and memorized that order. So his French is really good in this film, but he basically didn't speak it fluently. He basically was just handed lines and was taught how to say the lines and, was obviously taught what they meant, I'm assuming, because he would need to know how to act when he's saying those lines, but I mean, that takes a lot of skill. Yeah. This man, too, Okada, so he was a miner and a traveling salesman before becoming an actor, and he wasn't really in a lot of movies. This is obviously his like only, film that he's really recognized for. He had also served in World War II in the Imperial Japanese Army. So, I mean, his character in the film, I don't know if he cheated on his wife in real life, but Wife in Real Life. That rhymes. That'd be a good movie. Wife in Real Life. Yeah, but he served in the Japanese Army. Yeah, just like his character. Amelia Riva, I did say this was her first feature film. She had earlier done some work in television. The movie Hiroshima Mon Amour started life as a documentary about the nuclear bomb drop on Hiroshima, of course, until the director, Alain Resnais, decided to include fictional elements. So, yeah, I like that. I like that he did that. I mean, I just like that he did that. A regular documentary about Hiroshima, I mean, then again, I say that, but I love Night and Fog, and that's about another, awful event, the Holocaust, well, a series of events, the Holocaust, and maybe it would have been a better film, Hiroshima Mon Amour, if it wasn't long and it didn't have this big fictional romance in it, if it was just a standard film about what happened at Hiroshima. I ponder that. I don't know, and I can't ask Alain Resnais that because he died.
Mais est-ce que je suis d'accord avec les critiques de ce film?
Ooh, you see, it works, my annoying French voice there works when I'm reviewing French movies. See? What do I agree with what the critics said about this? Yeah, sort of. James Bardinelli of Real Views said, I was arrested by the way in which the film was shot and what it was saying, but I'll admit to not caring much about the two people at the center of this drama. Yeah, I agree. I think that was another issue. it's like in these films I say sometimes, and critics say, well, I didn't care about the characters. I didn't like the characters, so what am I watching a film for? I understand you don't have to like a character in a film. A character in a film can be an evil person, and you can still be very, you can feel very gripped by what they're seeing in the film. So you don't have to like characters, but in any movie you have to be a little bit enthralled by what you're seeing, what these characters are doing. And in this film, I just don't feel that. It's not necessarily that I dislike the characters, I just don't care about them. Robert Abel of the Los Angeles Times called Hiroshima, Mon Amour that rare movie in which present and past meld in every frame to convey a sense of time obliterated or a dream having a nightmare. Yeah, the present and the past are definitely melded, especially in the beginning. And also, I guess you can make the argument that, with the woman's literal past of dating, or not even dating, sleeping with a Nazi, it's kind of like, it makes you think, well, now she's sleeping with a Japanese man, and, the Japanese were, they were also part of the Axis powers, so it's like, that decision, what does that, maybe that's something that I'm missing in the film too, but at the same time, this Japanese man, he's not a villain, he's not portrayed as that, ever, and I feel like there's no also implication of her being like, well, I slept with the bad guy in the war, and now, your race was also the bad people in the war, so I shouldn't do that. I didn't get that. I didn't get that from the movie. H.A. Weiler, I think I'm saying his name right, or their name, I don't know, I'm sorry, of the New York Times said, although it presents on occasion a baffling repetition of words and ideas, much like vaguely recurring dreams, it, nevertheless, leaves the impression of a careful coalescence of art and craftsmanship. It is careful. I would say it's careful. Maybe a little too careful. Yeah. Don Drucker of Chicago Reader says, integrating past and present, poetic images and documentary footage, music, and Marguerite Dural's dialogue. The dialogue is really good in this. I liked it. Again, poetic though. The film achieved a structural balance of such emotional and intellectual power that audiences were stunned when it came out. There's intellectual power. I don't know if there's emotional power. Lisa Rossman of Signatures said, gorgeous and yearning, Hiroshima, Mon Amour offers a still modern thesis. Memory, like love, is a commodity that no one fully possesses. Ooh. I kind of... No, I still don't get it. I'm sorry.
The best moment.
The opening sequence is phenomenal. Yeah, check it out. It's probably on YouTube. It is very hard to watch at times, but it is, wow, incredible. An incredibly edited collection of images, and yeah. And it's sexy, too. But, well, some of the images. You know what I'm talking about, yeah.
Is it really one of the best movies of all time?
One of the most beautifully shot films of all time. I would argue and say that. Yeah. One of the best. No. Thanks. No. I'm going to say no. Night in Fog is. Check that out. Alain Resnais was really remarkable filmmaker. Well, I didn't like his other movie, which I'll get to. Spoiler alert. But a few episodes from now. But, no, for me, no. I think this movie's a little overrated. I'm not going to lie. But, it's just my opinion. And, yeah, just my opinion. In the meantime, though, I will catch you next time on this podcast. Thank you for listening. If you made it all the way through, I hope I'm not blowing your eardrums out, but I know that I do talk very loudly. And this is a cheap microphone, and if you want to complain about it, well, go and buy me a podcast studio, please. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm just screwing with you. Yeah, I'll check you next time. In the meantime, I'll see you next time. I won't see you next time. I'll talk to you next time. In the meantime, Get your ass off the couch and go to the goddamn movies, okay? Go to the movies. I don't care if you argue and complain that the movie theaters are too cold. Well, layer up, okay? Wear 3 coats and go to the movies. Just do it, all right? Well, what if it's too hot? Well, then wear shorts and a tank top, tube top, tank top. I don't even care. Wear a bathing suit for all I care, okay? Just go. Please go and support your local cinema. For me, please. Thank you. I won't give you money, but I was going to say that, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, you made it. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of I'm Reviewing Here. New episodes drop Tuesdays and Fridays. You can get this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at I'm Reviewing Here. You can also subscribe on YouTube. New episodes drop there the same day they drop on the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Please leave a review if you'd like. Be mean, be nice, hit on me. I don't really care. Candor really, really is important to me, and, it helps the podcast too. So I really hope you enjoyed it. This podcast is brought to you especially by Nervous Chuckles. That is my fake production company because I make people nervously chuckle all the time because they never know if I'm telling a joke or not. So they're always like, do I laugh? Do I not laugh? Is he serious? Is he insane? Did he get out of the loony? What's going on? So if I made you nervously chuckle, then that means that I did my job, and thank you. There is no funding for this podcast, but if you want to give me money, then hit me up. DM me. Bye-bye.